$2, that's all it takes to replace an entire shelf full of seed trays, pots, and clutter with something that fits in the palm of your hand and quietly outperforms all of them. Most people don't realize this, but the way we start seeds today, rows of plastic cells, bulky trays, endless potting mix, isn't actually efficient. It's just familiar, because there's a method that uses less soil, takes up nearly 70 to 80% less space, produces stronger root systems, and makes transplanting almost effortless. And hardly anyone is using it. It looks simple, almost too simple. A rolled strip, a bit of soil, seeds tucked inside like ingredients in a perfectly wrapped bite. But by morning, it becomes something else entirely. A living spiral. This is what I call the sushi roll method. And once you see it, you won't go back. There's no stack of trays here, no grid of plastic cells drying out unevenly, no juggling space on your windowsill or trying to rotate plants toward the light. Just a single upright roll sitting quietly in a tray, holding dozens of seedlings in a fraction of the space you're used to. And here's the part that makes people pause the first time they see it work. Those seedlings aren't cramped. They're not competing the way you'd expect. In fact, they're developing deeper, straighter root systems than most plug trays ever allow, because instead of being confined to shallow compartments, the roots are guided downward through a continuous column of soil, following gravity the way they were always meant to. No interruptions, no plastic walls stopping them every few inches. Just growth. This isn't a new invention either. Gardeners have been experimenting with vertical seed starting systems for decades, and variations of rolled germination techniques have existed even longer in controlled agriculture and propagation. But somewhere along the way, the simplest version, the one anyone can build for almost nothing, never became mainstream. Probably because there's nothing to sell you. So let me just show you how to build it. You don't need a kit, you don't need special tools, you don't even need to go out of your way to find materials. In fact, there's a good chance you already have everything. Start with a strip of flexible material, about 1 to 2 feet long and roughly 3 to 6 inches tall, depending on what you're growing. This becomes the backbone of the roll. It can be something as simple as leftover packaging, a piece of plastic wrap, or my personal favorite, bubble wrap. Not because it's fancy, because it works. Those small air pockets do two things most people overlook. First, they add structure, helping the roll hold its shape without collapsing. And second, they act as insulation, buffering the roots against sudden temperature swings, which is critical during early growth when seedlings are most vulnerable. It's a small detail, but it makes a measurable difference. Now, if you're concerned about plastic, and a lot of people are, you can line that strip with baking paper or parchment so the roots never actually touch it. Same benefits, no direct contact. Or you can skip plastic entirely and use corrugated cardboard, which breaks down naturally and still holds long enough to get your seedlings established. What you don't want to use is something flimsy like newspaper. It tears, it collapses, and the roots tend to grow into it in ways that make unrolling a mess later on. So once you've got your strip, lay it flat and prepare your soil. This part matters more than people think. You're not just filling space here, you're creating the entire environment your seeds will rely on for the first phase of their life. That means your mix needs to hold moisture evenly, drain well, and provide just enough structure to support roots without compacting. A standard seed starting mix works perfectly. If you're mixing your own, aim for something light and airy. Typically a blend of compost, coco coir, or peat, and a bit of perlite or sand for drainage. Now here's the step most beginners skip. Moisten it first. Not soaking wet, not dripping, just evenly damp. The kind of moisture where you can squeeze a handful and it holds together briefly before crumbling apart again. That consistency ensures that when you roll everything up, the soil stays in place and maintains uniform hydration throughout the entire structure. Because remember, this isn't a shallow tray, it's a vertical system. If the moisture isn't balanced from the start, the top dries out while the bottom stays wet, and your germination becomes uneven. So take your time here. Spread the soil along the strip, anywhere from ½ an inch to about 2 inches thick, depending on the seeds you're planting. Smaller seeds like lettuce, basil, or cabbage family crops do perfectly well with a thinner layer, while larger seeds, beans, squash, corn, benefit from a deeper bed to anchor into. Pack it gently, especially along the bottom edge, because that's what will support the entire roll when it stands upright. You don't need to compress it hard, just enough so it holds together without shifting. Leave the last inch or so at the end of the strip empty. That's your seal. Now comes the part that gives this method its name. You roll it, slowly, evenly, letting the soil guide the shape instead of forcing it. And as you do, it starts to resemble something familiar, layered, compact, structured, like a sushi roll being formed with care rather than pressure. That's exactly what you want. A tight spiral, but not compressed. Stable, but still breathable. If a little soil falls out as you go, that's fine. You can tuck it back in or brush it away. What matters is the overall structure when you're done. Stand it upright, and suddenly it makes sense. A compact column of soil spiraled inward, ready to hold dozens of seeds in a footprint smaller than a single pot. Secure it with a piece of tape, a rubber band, or even a bit of string, just enough to keep it from unraveling, and place it in a shallow tray to catch any excess water. And just like that, you're ready to plant. But here's the detail that changes everything. You don't plant before rolling, you plant after. Because if you try to add seeds while the strip is still flat, they shift, they sink unevenly, and you lose control over depth and spacing. But once the roll is upright, you can place each seed exactly where it needs to go, guiding it into the spiral with precision. For smaller seeds, you can scatter them lightly along the top edge, spacing them about ½ an inch apart. For larger seeds, press individual holes slightly deeper into the soil and drop them in one by one. Then cover lightly. Water gently. And that's it. No grid, no labeling dozens of cells, no rearranging trays to chase sunlight, just one structure doing the work of many. And here's where it starts to outperform everything else. Because of its vertical design, this single roll can hold 20, 30, sometimes even 50 seedlings, depending on spacing, all within an area smaller than a sheet of paper. That's not a small improvement. That's a complete shift in how space is used during the most crowded part of the growing season. If you've ever tried starting seeds in early spring, you know exactly what that means. Windowsills packed edge to edge, trays stacked on top of each other, plants leaning toward the light, competing before they've even had a chance to establish. The sushi roll method eliminates that entirely. You line up a few rolls in a tray, and suddenly you've replaced an entire shelf. And because the roots grow downward through the spiral rather than circling inside a confined cell, you end up with longer, healthier root systems from the very beginning, which translates directly into faster establishment once transplanted. That's not a theory. It's just how roots behave when you stop interrupting them. Keep the top moist with light watering or misting, especially during germination, because the upper layer is where seeds are waking up and beginning their first push into the soil. If you want to retain humidity, you can loosely cover the rolls with a plastic bag or place them inside a simple propagator. Not for heat necessarily, but to reduce evaporation and maintain a stable microclimate. And within days, you'll start to see it. Green emerging from a spiral, not in rows, not in grids, but in a continuous living pattern that expands upward while anchoring itself deeper below. And that's where this method really starts to show what it can do, because what looks like a simple roll is actually solving multiple problems at once. Space, moisture control, root development, ease of transplanting, all from something that cost you about $2 to make. And once you see how the next stage works, when those seedlings are ready to move, you'll understand why people who try this once rarely go back. Because this is where the sushi roll method stops being clever and starts being genuinely hard to beat. The moment those seedlings are ready to move, everything you've struggled with in traditional seed, starting quietly, disappears. There's no prying roots out of cramped plastic cells, no tapping trays hoping the soil releases cleanly, no tearing delicate root systems just to separate plants that were forced to grow too close together in the first place. Because instead of fighting the container, you simply unroll it. And that's not just convenient, it's transformative. You peel back the tape, loosen the outer edge, and as the spiral opens, what you see is something most gardeners never get to witness this clearly. A full, uninterrupted view of each plant's root system, long, straight, and untangled, stretching downward exactly the way nature intended, without the circling, knotting, or compression that happens inside traditional pots. It's clean, it's organized, and it's incredibly satisfying. You can lift individual seedlings out with almost no resistance because they're not bound to a rigid cell or competing for the same pocket of soil. They're simply resting within the structure, ready to be moved when you are, which means transplant shock is significantly reduced and the transition into larger containers or directly into the ground becomes faster, smoother, and far more successful. This is one of those rare cases where simpler actually performs better. And if a plant isn't quite ready yet, if it needs more time, more space, or just a little more support, you don't have to guess or rush the process, you just adjust the roll. Unfurl it partially, add a bit more soil where needed, reposition the seedlings if they've shifted, and then roll it back up again, slightly thicker this time, giving the roots more room without ever removing the plant from its environment, which is something you simply cannot do with fixed containers. You're not transferring the plant, you're evolving the space around it. And that flexibility changes everything, especially for crops that tend to outgrow their containers before the weather is ready for them outside. Things like tomatoes, peppers, squash, and corn, which often become root-bound in trays long before they can be transplanted safely. With the sushi roll method, that bottleneck disappears. You just scale the roll, give it more depth, more spacing, more soil, and the plant continues growing without interruption. It's a system that adapts in real time. Now, let's talk about performance, because this is where most people expect a trade-off. Less soil, smaller footprint, lower cost. Surely something has to give. But in practice, what you'll notice is that while some seedlings may start slightly smaller compared to those grown in large pots, they catch up quickly, often within days of transplanting, because what they lack in initial size, they make up for in root efficiency, and in plant growth, roots are everything. A plant with a strong, deep, undisturbed root system will always outperform one that's been constrained, even if it looks smaller at first glance. And that's exactly what this method prioritizes. Depth over spread, continuity over confinement, function over appearance. There's also the matter of water usage, which becomes noticeably more efficient with this setup because instead of watering multiple containers individually, each with its own drainage pattern and evaporation rate, you're maintaining moisture within a single unified structure, which means less waste, more consistency, and fewer chances of overwatering or underwatering different sections. That said, you do need to pay attention. Because there's less total soil volume, the roll can dry out faster than a large pot if left unattended, especially in warmer conditions or direct sunlight, so regular monitoring is key, but the trade-off is control. You always know exactly what's happening inside that roll, and adjustments are quick and easy. For cooler season crops like lettuce, onions, leeks, and members of the cabbage family, there's another advantage that most people overlook. You can take the entire roll and place it directly onto prepared soil outdoors once conditions are right, allowing the roots to grow downward through the base while the structure gradually integrates with the environment, freeing up indoor space without forcing an immediate transplant, which is particularly useful during that transition period when indoor setups start to overflow. And then there's the scale. Because once you realize how compact and efficient each roll is, it becomes obvious how easily this method expands, not by adding more trays or shelves, but by simply adding more rolls, each one holding dozens of plants, each one taking up minimal space, each one functioning independently, yet fitting neatly alongside the others. A single windowsill that once held a handful of pots can now support an entire early season garden. Not by working harder, but by working differently. And all of it, from the materials to the setup, can be done for around $2, sometimes even less if you're repurposing what you already have, which makes this one of the most accessible, low-cost, high-impact techniques you can adopt, whether you're growing a few herbs on a kitchen ledge or starting hundreds of plants for a full garden. The sushi roll method isn't just a clever trick or a space-saving hack, it's a shift in how you think about starting plants, how you use space, how you manage roots, how you move from seed to soil without unnecessary friction. It simplifies the process without reducing the outcome. And once you've done it once you've unrolled that first spiral and seen the structure inside, it's hard to ignore how much complexity it removes from something that's supposed to be simple in the first place. So whether you're short on space, tired of juggling trays, or just curious enough to try something that quietly outperforms the standard approach, this is one of those methods that earns its place quickly. $2, one roll, dozens of plants, and a system that works with growth instead of against it. If this is the kind of practical, no-nonsense growing method you want more of, subscribe to Heritage Harvest, because this is exactly what we do here. Take ideas that should be common knowledge, refine them, and put them back where they belong, in your hands. I'll see you in the next one.